Hello, welcome to another episode of MBear's Home Improvements. Today I'm going to make some chocolate slice. It's very popular and it's an easy slice to make. It is a melt and mix technique, and also we're going to finish it off with a very simple icing.
You'll need 1 1/4 cups of self-raising flour, half a cup of white sugar, 3/4 of a cup of coconut, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, 125 grams of butter, and to make the icing you'll need half a cup of icing sugar and 1 to 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder.
First step that we need to do is to melt our butter. I have chopped it up into small pieces so it will melt quicker, and I put it on about halfway on medium heat. So keep an eye on the butter while you're doing that. I've already turned my oven on to 180 degrees and a slice tray, and you can use some Glad bait. In this bowl I've already got my flour. Now I'm going to add all my dry ingredients. So in goes the half cup of sugar. I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of coconut. Now I know sometimes people don't like coconut, but coconut actually gives it a nice flavour. It also makes the texture a little bit lighter, so I'll put that in there. Then we have the cocoa powder. So that's 2 tablespoons. Now before you put your egg in, I would just lightly beat it with a fork. We'll mix that and pop that in as well. And last but not least, before we add the butter, we're going to use a teaspoon of vanilla essence. Now give that a good stir round, and then you'll add the butter. Keep in mind this slice base is fairly dry, so if you think that you haven't added enough liquid, that's okay. It's not supposed to be very soggy. It's not like a cake. Create like a little hole in the center. Add your melted butter, and we're just going to mix this through. Press it down with your hands. And pour everything in here. We're going to put this in the oven for around about 15-20 minutes. Depends on your oven. If you've got a fast oven. So I'm going to put this in the oven now, and whilst it's in the oven, I'm going to make the icing. Now this type of icing is called a glacé icing. There's no butter, there's no milk in it. All it is icing sugar, cocoa powder, and some hot water. So you'll need just a bread and butter knife, and you'll need to have some measuring spoons. So first of all, I've got some boiled water in my kettle, and it's better to use a little bit first than rather than going gung-ho and putting too much in. So I'll show you how much water that you do need, and you'll be quite surprised the little amounts. And I'm going to just mix this around, and you won't see a great deal of difference. So what I could probably do is add another tablespoon of water. And mix it through. Okay, now you can see that it's coming together, but it's still a bit too dry, and I haven't quite got all my mixture thoroughly mixed through. But instead of using my tablespoon again, because if I put another tablespoon of water in there, it would be too much water. So I'm going to probably put in half a teaspoon. I may have to do this several times, but it's better to add a little bit each time rather than adding too much. That's still a bit too thick, and it's not going to spread on your slice very well. So I'm going to do another half a teaspoon. And this should make it just the right consistency. As you can see, it's starting to run off the knife, And that's the consistency that you want. So that's all we need to do for the icing. We just have to wait now for our slice to come out of the oven. Our slice is ready. As you can see, it's starting to shrink away from the edges of the tin. If after you've made your icing and it gets a little bit of a skin on top, all you need to do, just give it a bit of a stir around. And if you made it quite some time earlier and you put it in the fridge, you will actually probably might have to add some more hot water. All right, so we're going to pour this on. And as I said, because the slice has just come out of the oven,
It's nice and fresh.
it will be a lot easier to spread. Okay. And using these palette knives, it makes moving the icing around so much easier. And that's all that I need to do. And I might just put some hundreds and thousands on this one. And even now I can see that the icing is starting to set. And there you go. Don't store your slice in the fridge. It doesn't need to go in the fridge, just in an airtight container in the pantry. That's the end of MBear's Home Improvements. I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode on how to make chocolate slice. Super easy, your friends will love it. And stick around because we will be making some more episodes of MBear's Home Improvements. And don't forget, please subscribe. See you next time.
Oh, that was a good one, Ember. Yeah.